If you've been following ESPN lately, this will leave you speechless. My favorite part of Caitlin Clarke's game is her behind-the-back pass. She nails it every time. It's not just a one-off, she does it frequently and perfectly. How did ESPN go from downplaying Caitlin Clarke to praising her moves? But that's not all. The ESPN panel has even more surprising things to say. In no time, Caitlin Clarke's name is everywhere, even in videos barely about her. It's obvious ESPN is trying to win fans back because people can see their bias. No one wants to watch a broadcast that drags her down. Everyone knows she deserves the crown. Caitlin Clarke has been nothing short of sensational. Her game speaks for itself, and the stats back it up. Just a few weeks into the season, she set a WNBA record with 19 assists in a single game, a remarkable feat for a rookie. She's also the first rookie in league history to record a triple-double. Clarke is currently the first player in WNBA history with multiple career games of 25-plus points, 10-plus assists, and 5-plus three-pointers made in a single season. According to ESPN, she has averaged 24.7 points, 9.3 assists, and 5.8 rebounds since the Olympic break. With a record like that, there's no doubt. Caitlin Clarke is one of the WNBA's best.
Shaquille O'Neal even calls her the best female collegiate player ever.
But she's phenomenal. I'm going to go on the record and say she's the best female collegiate player ever.
Ever?
Well,
I don't know about you. You ever heard of Cheryl Miller?
Have you seen how Caitlin Clarke shoots from behind the arc? She set a rookie record for three-pointers in the season with 88 and counting. Truly remarkable. Even against LSU, a powerhouse in offensive rebounding, Clarke remains unstoppable. It's hard to understand why ESPN has spent months putting her down when she's clearly rewriting history. It's crazy they couldn't recognize such talent. From what we've seen, it's more like they refuse to acknowledge it. One of Caitlin Clarke's biggest critics at ESPN is Molly Qerim, a co-host of First Take Asterisk. During the controversy around Team USA snubbing Clarke, Qerim was one of the loudest voices supporting the decision. She went as far as saying that adding Clarke to the team would hurt the game. How often someone reached that conclusion about a player who's been nothing but phenomenal? But it didn't stop there. Qerim made statements that have kept Clarke's fans fired up. She said, "I think it makes a mockery of the women's game," and added that if the focus is on marketing and attention, we're not putting the best team out there. Qerim outright implied that Clarke is just a marketing tool, lacking talent and not one of the best. This couldn't be further from the truth. Qerim has a history of downplaying Clarke's achievements. Before the game between Clarke and Connecticut in April, she dismissed Clarke's accomplishments, crediting them only to Paige Buecher's injury. Here's what she had to say.
If Paige Buecher's basically missed 2 seasons, I don't know if we'd be talking about Caitlin Clarke the way we are now, and that's facts.
There's nothing but bias in those words. Buecher's injuries have nothing to do with Caitlin Clarke's rise. Buecher's is undeniably a great player, and without her setbacks, she could have gone even further. But there's no way she would have overshadowed Clarke. Caitlin Clarke is a force, and her presence on Team USA would have made their win 3 times more impactful. Clarke isn't just great for marketing, she's literally transformed women's basketball. What used to be a game with minimal attention is now a highly anticipated event, with packed stadiums every time she plays. Even Satu Sabali has attested to Clarke's incredible influence.
It's amazing to see so many people in women's basketball jerseys. It's amazing to see the excitement and the joy that comes out of that. So although I feel like our Dallas fans could have done better, I had mixed feelings, obviously, seeing all the Caitlin jerseys in our home, but it's an amazing sign for women's basketball.
However, Caitlin Clarke wouldn't be the face of the WNBA for no reason. She's one of the most popular and talked about athletes today, all because of her brilliance on the court. Her impact goes beyond stats. Her playstyle and leadership have captivated fans everywhere. Even WNBA legend Cynthia Cooper had to give her props, recognizing the undeniable talent Clarke brings to the game.
Well, I appreciate you for repping Caitlin Clarke, who's the absolute truth. She out here balling.
They don't want to say that.
Yeah,
They don't want to give it to her.
I'm telling you, Caitlin Clarke is an absolute truth.
If everyone else is awake to this generational talent, why has ESPN been sleeping on it? Another First Take Asterisk host, Monica McNutt, has also been vocal in her opposition to Clarke. She made it clear by voting Angel Reese as her Rookie of the Year pick, claiming her choice was based on standings. But let's be real, Clarke's performance speaks for itself. The bias is evident when you overlook her undeniable talent and contributions to the game.
I said this all season, BC. My Rookie of the Year is going to go based on the standing. Okay. Because I think that is how you have the opportunity to measure impact.
And the sky's right above
And the Sky right now are in the playoffs, so you'd have to give the nod in my mind to Angel Reese.
Another sportscaster, Carolyn Peck, also chose Angel Reese over Caitlin Clarke. Peck went even further, belittling Clarke by saying that Reese is doing the dirty work and putting up grown women's numbers. It's baffling that instead of appreciating Clarke's generational talent, some commentators continue to downplay her achievements. Clarke's game speaks for itself, and there's no need to diminish her success just to elevate someone else.
Reese has to do the dirty work. I have said it's not sexy to have to battle and rebound inside and where you've got to do the blue collar work. But this is a player that has come in as a rookie and is putting up grown woman numbers.
Caitlin Clarke has since proven her worth in a recent game against the Chicago Sky, where she scored a career-high 31 points, hit 5 3-pointers, dished out 12 assists, and grabbed 4 rebounds, leading her team to a decisive 100-81 victory. The Indiana Fever, now sitting 2 positions above the Chicago Sky, owes much of its success to the energy Clarke brings to the game. From being at the bottom last season with a 13-27 record, the Fever has impressively jumped over 500 at the time of this video. Clarke's leadership is undeniable. She's all about boosting her team, and it's evident in every interview where she consistently focuses on her team's success, not her own.
Really matter. You better come into every single game with the mentality to win, and I think our group has done a really good job of taking it one game at a time, and it's honestly impressive how we started the season and now sitting at 6th place with 8 games remaining, 9 games remaining, whatever it is.
Yet Monica McNutt and other analysts like Justin Tinsley, Lena Kimes, and Bill Barnwell have rated Caitlin Clarke's impact on the Indiana Fever under 60%, when it's clear she's the driving force behind their success. She deserves at least 80% for her contributions. To be fair, not everyone has been against Clarke. Stephen A. Smith has been vocal in his support, often calling out her critics. Shannon Sharpe, a regular ESPN contributor, also stood up for Clarke, addressing the haters on his podcast. He threw some serious shade at them, though he didn't mention any names directly.
But there's a lot of women that was on ESPN that had a lot to say earlier about this. They gone quiet now.
You say they quiet?
Y'all quiet now. And if you think I'm talking to you, I am. Make no mistake about it. I'm talking to you. You know who you are. One of you was a former coach.
It's mostly been women downplaying Caitlin Clarke's achievements, and it's no surprise. Even in the WNBA, Clarke has faced more hate than love. Cheryl Swoots has been at the forefront of this, discrediting Clarke's records and making it clear she can't stand Clarke's success. According to Stephen A. Smith, Swoops was excluded from the broadcast crew for the recent Indiana Fever versus Dallas Wings game due to her bias. On her podcast, Swoops praised several Indiana Fever players but didn't mention Clarke, the star of the team, making it obvious she was dissing her. After Smith called her out, Swoops responded in a tweet saying, "You talk about whoever and whatever on your podcast, so why can't I?" She added that she has a personal relationship with the players she mentioned and that they deserve recognition. However, this seemed like she was avoiding the real issue, her clear dislike for Clarke. Smith pointed this out, noting that her actions were anything but subtle.
Yes, I did listen to your entire podcast. You didn't mention Caitlin Clarke. So I was right, number 1. Number 2, your personal relationship, what that got to do with your coverage? Ain't nobody said don't mention them. Ain't nobody said don't applaud them. Nobody told you to ignore them. What we're saying is if you're going to give the Indiana Fever all the credit in the world, how you going to mention the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clarke's name even coming?
While Swoots has held her ground, ESPN has done a complete 180 on their stance regarding Caitlin Clarke. These analysts have shifted their narratives, now recognizing her as a legitimate MVP candidate and a game changer for the Indiana Fever. Clarke currently sits in 3rd place in the MVP race, right behind big names like A'ja Wilson. ESPN is now praising her abilities, highlighting how she impacts the game in multiple ways, from scoring to playmaking. Analysts are diving deep into her statistics, comparing her achievements to those of established stars in the league. The shift in tone from ESPN is clear. They're finally giving Clarke the credit she's deserved all along.
She is so fast, deceptively fast. That's why they are able to score these big numbers, because they do their damage in transition.
Right here, Clarke, quick 5 points for Clarke. Fever lead 66.
Ooh,
60.
tough one, little push off.
When talking about the playoffs, they described the Indiana Fever as the most dangerous team.
Who is the most dangerous team that you think no one in that top half wants to see right now?
In the bottom half, I think that Indiana is a problem.
Yeah.
And the way that they are playing as of late, when you look at the numbers of what Caitlin Clarke has done, her improvement and how she has adjusted to the speed of the game, and her players have gotten used to playing with her. She knows how to lay it out on a dime.
It's shocking to see how these analysts now have nothing but respect for Caitlin Clarke and her game, especially after the way they treated her before. The Clarke fandom isn't buying into this sudden shift. They haven't forgotten the disrespect ESPN showed the rising star and are vocal about their disappointment. Molly Qerim has even backtracked on her previous criticism. In a recent episode of First Take Asterisk, Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe expressed their frustration with Qerim for being one of the naysayers. In response, Qerim claimed that no one denied Clarke's talent, but Sharpe was quick to challenge her, leading to a heated exchange and Qerim calling for a break. Clarke's fans were not letting this hypocrisy slide, dragging Qerim once again and saying her comments aged like milk. Despite ESPN's newfound praise for Clarke, it feels downright hypocritical. Meanwhile, Angel Reese and Cheryl Swoots are still in the mix, with Reese hinting that Swoots will be her first live guest on her new podcast, Unapologetically Angel Asterisk. This move seems petty, and Clarke's fans are using it as another opportunity to criticize Swoops. Whatever Reese is planning, it's clear that Caitlin Clarke's brilliance cannot be overshadowed.